last and final speaker for today, Mr. Brady. Brady's not necessarily someone who may love stepping into the spotlight, but when he does, he brings this unique mix of like quiet humor, maybe some curiosity, and just a little bit of determination. He's the kind of student who will surprise you, not just because of like the sneaky athleticism he has, but also this like dry wit that really makes me crack up. But really it's because of the things he's passionate about and how he puts his heart into those things. He's not the loudest voice in the room. In fact, he's usually the quietest. But today he's got the mic, and it's hot. Ready? All right. So welcome to the stage, Brady.
Hello, my name is Brady, and thank you for coming to my speech. The quote I chose is "The only way to do great work is to love what you do" by Steve Jobs. This quote means that if you find something you like to do, passion will continue. In my speech, I'm excited to tell you about all the things I like to do. Physically, I played a lot of sports like tennis, soccer, and basketball. But along with sports, I played the drums. When I was 9, I found out that my cousin was a drummer in a local band. This inspired me to take interest in playing the drums. My cousin was nice enough to give me some of his old drums when I was brand new to it. I remember going to pick up the drums at his house and loading them into the car. I could not wait to get home and finally play for the first time. When I got home, I carried them into a small extra room in my basement. I played all day and picked it up fast. With some tutorials on YouTube and a full weekend ahead, I was dedicated to learning how to play. When it comes to the drums, I'm self-taught. Something cool about the drums is that you only need to learn some basics to it for anything you want to play, and be easy to play after practicing. So with that, I didn't find lessons necessary. But other than playing the drums, I also like to run. Running is one of those things that I can do to get away from everything. I like coming home after school every day to go on runs in my neighborhood. Although I run a lot and I'm good at it, I don't run for collegiate or anything competitive. I'm fortunate enough to have a park right near my house that I can run at. This makes it easy to run whenever I want. Something that I can't do whenever I want is go mountain biking. Mountain biking is something that I've been doing for a few years now. Mountain biking is one of the most fun things I'll ever get to experience. Even if my sister broke her wrist from mountain biking, I'll still enjoy doing it even if she doesn't. I love getting to go mountain biking whenever I get the chance to. My favorite subject in school is science. It's interesting to learn how everyday things work. My interest in this class leads me to work harder in the subjects. I enjoy doing projects like the Rube Goldberg project in 7th grade. Someone that loves being creative, this project was super fun to work on. It allowed me to incorporate my creativity within a school project, and that made me really interested in it. Something huge I took out of this project is that it taught me how to overcome obstacles and work well with others. When it comes to academics, I've grown the most from math class by noticing the importance of how it will affect my future. During the start of middle school, when I heard about a test or quiz in math class, I would just hope for the best and pretty much guess on the problems I didn't know. I barely took any time into studying to know the material well enough to understand and perceive. But eventually, that would change when I started to take it more serious by actually studying. During 7th grade, I remember taking an Andrews quiz at the start of the year. I was not prepared well enough to do good. I got a really bad grade. This made my math grade really low, so I felt really bad about that. Because of this grade, I lost some of my privileges like playing Fortnite. So it led me to sit down with my dad and study a lot, make sure I was all caught up. And then I retook that test and I got a much better grade on it. When I came home to tell my dad the news, it was an awesome feeling. Now I find it's a good idea to understand what we're doing in class so that in future classes I won't fall behind and get confused. I really focus on making sure that I understand everything that we're learning. I quickly saw good results in my grade and I felt more involved in the work. I also sit down and consider my dedication things that are on upcoming quizzes and put more effort so that I completed my homework on time. Being prepared properly Being prepared properly for quizzes and tests helped me be confident in math. But in the end, I don't just care about my grade. I also want to make sure that I'm dedicated to learning before moving on to harder stuff. Now I carry on these studying habits, and I'm definitely glad that I learned this eventually throughout middle school. The more I take interest in math, the more I realize that I like the subject. And like my quote says, I'll study harder and be more involved in it when I love what I do. Socially, I love spending time with my friends and family in my free time. In the summer, me and my siblings ride bikes to our favorite stores and go to the pool every day of the summer. But besides summertime, me and my family go to Hilton Head Island every spring break. It's definitely my favorite time of the year. But the worst part of this trip is the drive. The drive takes almost 13 hours with traffic. Luckily, the drive is worth it to me. I still can remember back the first time we went there for spring break. When we arrived on the island, I could not wait to do so many things, like see our condo that we were staying in, and especially go to the beach for my first time ever. I could never bring back the feeling of that very first spring break I ever went to on the island. It was awesome to wake up on the ocean, and even the little things like the palm trees were cool to see. Now I look forward to this trip every year. Over the years of growing up, I eventually learned how to ride a bike. And that leads to the coolest thing about this trip to me, is when we're on the island, we do everything on our bikes. Whether it's going to get dinner, going to the beach, or catching crabs late at night, we're always on our bikes. While I'm on the island, I like to go shark fishing and other activities. I value the time on the island while doing things that I can't do local. My birthday happens to be on spring break, so I get to spend my birthday on the island, which creates the best memories possible. When it comes to myself, one of my favorite things to do is run a YouTube channel. Ever since last summer, I started my YouTube channel. All I had was a small laptop that was older than me. I knew this was not going to be enough to pursue this any longer. So after months of saving up from doing garden work and other tasks, I did whatever I could to reach my savings goal to buy a PC. When it came time, I was finally able to buy myself my very own PC. Now that I had any software that I could want and the best quality content, I had no excuse to give up. So I nonstop would work to get as much content out as possible. I remember setting a goal for posting one video every night, no matter where and what I was doing. This process was slow, but eventually my videos started to get more and more views. I saw my effort of posting every night finally pay off. The progress of what I had been working so hard for was inspiring for me to see. It has led me to increase the effort and time I put in my videos. In November, I hit 1,000 subscribers. This milestone at the time really set me to start a faster pace in my channel growth. By now, I'm on track to hit 10,000 subscribers. When I can't post videos, I stream. Streaming is so much fun. I stream myself playing games like Fortnite and others. Besides hitting 1,000 subscribers, the most proud moment on YouTube has been getting accepted in the YouTube Partner Program, which allows me to be able to get paid for the views of my videos as well as being able to get donations on my live streams. My YouTube channel is a fun way to make playing video games less pointless, and I'm glad that I started it. First, I dedicate this speech to my parents. It's such an important part of my growth throughout middle school, and there's not anyone else in the world that can support me like they do. I'd also like to dedicate this speech to my sister Avery. She's an amazing sister to have, and I don't know what I would do without her through middle school. Lastly, I dedicate my speech to Mr. Long. I'll never make it through 7th grade without him as an advisor. He's taught me so much responsibility throughout the year that he had me. He taught one of my favorite classes in middle school. As I wrap up the speech, I can tie my quote to how everything that I do, I enjoy. If I'm doing something I do not enjoy, the work I put into it decreases. When I'm doing something that I enjoy, I spend more effort into it. Just like how my quote says, the only way to do great work is to love what you do. Thanks for listening to my speech.